Attention visionaries and pioneers, the future of wealth is here, and it's spelled Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Introducing the exclusive Loans for Bitcoin program at the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where your good credit unlocks 0% interest loans for up to 2 years, or term loans up to $250,000 spread over 7 to 12 years. Why wait? Use this capital to acquire the world's fastest appreciating asset, Bitcoin. With prices hovering around 94,000 and projections aiming much higher by the year's end, the time to act is now. Leverage isn't just for Wall Street anymore. Arbitrage the low cost of your loan against Bitcoin's explosive growth. It's smart finance for the modern investor. And privacy matters. Our no KYC Bitcoin purchase program ensures you buy and self-custody your assets in your own wallet. Your keys, your Bitcoin, your future. And as the world shifts to digital currencies, be ahead of the curve. Front-run corporations, governments, in this greatest financial revolution of our times. I'm Jay Bose, CEO of Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club. Call or text us today at 941-413-6920 and get started on that loan application. Secure your legacy. You will thank yourself tomorrow.
And we are live. Good morning, everybody. It's your favorite truck driver in the whole wide world, ex-truck driver in the whole wide world. It's Bitcoin Ben. Here for, as you can see, I'm in our club up in Nashville. There's Dennis. There's my boy. Let me bring him in real quick. Good morning, handsome. Where are you?
Oh, I'm over here in Oregon today, sir. How are you doing?
Oregon. Oh, God, you're like going everywhere. Where haven't you been? That's probably a shorter list than where you've been.
Too many places. Bitcoin will take you everywhere. We have been to a lot of state capitals, Washington, D.C., and I've even had the great fortune of traveling a lot more internationally in the last 12 months. In fact, I'll be going to South Korea here soon to speak, so it'll be my first trip to Asia.
Ooh, Asia. While you're over there, could you actually talk with China and see what the hell their problem is?
Yeah, I'll just walk real quick across that little border and say hi real fast.
Yeah, walk up and just like knock on their wall. Hey, hey, it's me.
Yeah, that's right. We'll have a quick conversation. I'm sure Xi Jinping will be happy to hear from me.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
I, um,
I was going to say, by the way, you're looking great today, Ben. Is this a new studio? And you're looking fabulous, by the way.
oh, this is our podcast room in our club up in Nashville.
Yeah, man, it looks great. How long has that one been open?
That one has actually been open about a year and a half, I think, or yeah, almost a year and a half. We have our club in Sarasota. We have our club in Nashville. We have our club in, we got Massachusetts. We got Texas. We got St. Louis. Launching one in Las
Wow.
Vegas next month. It should be open. And then I have a resort in El Salvador.
I heard that. That's so cool, man. Yeah, congratulations on that.
Yeah, you and your lovely wife will have to head down and hang out with us in El Salvador.
Yeah, that's great. Listen, my parents have lived there for 15 years, so I'm always looking for a reason to go back.
No kidding.
Yeah, they've been there forever before Bitcoin was even a thing. Isn't that wild? It's just super random. They do humanitarian work there.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, and actually, boy, you talk about going all in. Um, in El Salvador. I'm actually buying a bank in El Salvador next week. So
You were telling me that. I mean, I'm happy to learn more about it. I'm not sure how much you can share, but what's up with the bank? Why are we buying banks? It's funny because all the banks are getting into Bitcoin now too. Is what you're going to see happening in the U.S.
yeah, what I am doing is I'm actually uh, Caitlin Long out in Wyoming. Uh, I am basically replicating what she's actually doing, except I'm doing it in El Salvador, and El Presidente in El Salvador is super friendly with anything, legit in cryptos. And it's such a great environment, and getting all of the licensing and everything hooked into the Swift system and all of that would have required at least a year and a half to actually get it all set up. So I reached out to a friend who owned a bank, and basically was like, "So how much for your bank?" He's he's which he him and his family are very well known in El Salvador. So they own just a ton of everything down there, and he's launching a bank here in America, in Texas. So we actually worked out a
Great.
deal. I'm like, look, you're real busy. You have other things going on. Why don't you let me take this bank off your hands? And we worked out an actual deal, and now I have our CEO heading down there next week, and he's
Yeah.
actually going to sign off on everything, and we will have the first uh, 100% fully backed with Bitcoin uh, uh, bank ever.
That's incredible. That's
Yep.
amazing. Well, congratulations.
No, thank you. Yeah, I'm super excited, and now all of our clubs will actually have a branch of that bank in our clubs because of how we're shaped. We are a private club, so
Mhm.
can offer them an offshores account through their actual through our PMA.
That's incredible. Well, I'd love to learn about it. I'll have to become a member shortly.
Oh, you'll love it. It's not that you need an education on cryptos and Bitcoin, but yeah, we offer loans. We have partnerships with, let's see, we have partnerships with Fold, um, Orange Pill app, uh, Gemini, and it's almost everyone you can think of. We have some partnership with.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, you got to send me a brochure.
Oh, well, I'm sure you will actually be in Vegas.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yep. We are having an after party. It's our club and the Orange Pill app, and also uh, Fold is having an uh, after event on Wednesday, and we have it all set up. We have a we have a shuttle that will actually take you from the event to the after party and bring you back.
That's amazing. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I'm coming.
yes, and I think I think we actually talked about I'm launching a club slash conference center up in Washington D.C.
Yeah, man, you were just telling me about that. I'm excited to learn more and figure out how we can partner together because you know me, I'm going to be spending a lot of time there.
Oh yeah, and it's what I want is I want an event center for all of us crypto slash Bitcoin, or I'm sorry, Bitcoin slash certain cryptos. Not all of them, just the legit cryptos, and um, that way we can host events up there and have legislators and senators and El Presidente from El Salvador fly up and uh, and really have a place that is just ours.
Yeah, well, we're talking about doing some stuff in DC as we speak, so we certainly got to learn more about your space and figure out what we can do together.
Yeah, I actually want to meet you up there and have you help us choose a location because I want a place that holds at least, hell, I don't know, like 1,000 or 2,000 people where we can have a large event and and that way everyone involved in the crypto, blockchain um, ecosystem can host an event there cheaply uh, and actually get exposure to legislators and lobbyists and just really push the whole technology forward.
Yeah, well, it's a great idea. I mean, we need to have a lot more people there in Washington, D.C., and we need to make sure that Bitcoiners have a place to go. And I know that they're going to open a pub key there too, so that'll be really
Yeah.
exciting. There's a lot of great things going on in DC, and we're going to be spending a lot more time there. I'm going to be going there next week. I'm going there pretty shortly here, so I'll be there for a whole week. But next time you're in town, we should grab a drink and also go talk about possible places. I'd be happy to help with a location.
Oh, absolutely. Because this is kind of my vision. While Trump and Elon are, shall we say, draining the swamp, I want to turn the swamp into a hot tub
We'll heat it up with the
where
Bitcoin miners.
exactly we can liquid cool it. All right, brother. The reason I wanted to have you on is everyone. God, uh, I think Arizona passed
Hmm.
something. Uh, you know all about this. I'm gonna let you explain everything going on. Although there's so much, it's hard to cover all of it.
Couldn't agree more. There's so much going on in the space. We have bills passing left and right through different chambers in different states. But in the state of Arizona, we recently had three bills that passed that were all sort of in some way or another related to strategic Bitcoin reserve legislation. We had HB 2749, SB 1025, and SB 1373. And these bills essentially all come about it in just various different ways. One of them is a straight up Bitcoin strategic reserve bill. One of them is, more for confiscated Bitcoin, and one of them is an unclaimed property bill that enables the unclaimed property fund to be able to help the state buy Bitcoin. So there's three different
That's amazing.
approaches, and but ultimately our thought process is that we'll probably only get one across the finish line. I mean, yeah, it'd be great to get all three, but our viewpoint is we'll get one, and most likely the first one will be vetoed on Monday, or I mean, we'd love to get it across the finish line, but it's likely that that one will be vetoed on Sunday, or excuse me, on Monday, and then on Wednesday is the deadline for the other two. So there is, yeah, keep an eye out for Monday and Wednesday. But both of those, all three of those bills, I should say, pass through the House and the Senate in Arizona. And if the governor signs them into law, or if she doesn't sign, which is an interesting thing about Arizona, is if she doesn't sign, they become law automatically. So if she doesn't sign, or if she signs them, as long as she doesn't veto them, then Arizona will become the first state in the entire world, and in the entire country, I should say, to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve.
Oh God, I hope she calls in sick on Monday.
Oh
it's
God.
it's so amazing. And I know for all of us OGs who have been like around forever, this is moving so quickly. It's like January when Trump was sworn in. It's like we have been going 100 miles an hour on everything. And it's just amazing to watch. What are you seeing as you travel and you have conversations with high level people? Is everyone as in awe as I am?
Well, it really just depends on how much they care about the technology, right? I mean, you've got lawmakers who have been in office for a long time that have other things that are their priority, that are their focus. So it comes down to just the level of interest that they have in Bitcoin or digital assets. But any time that you come across someone who is, yeah, they are very excited about where we are. There is so much opportunity in front of us, and we're trying to run as quickly as we can while this Overton window is where it's at to capture as many policy wins as possible for Bitcoin, really. Because if we don't, then time could go by and things could change. I mean, people are all sunshine and roses and rainbows right now, but there's a very good chance that that could change in the next 2 years, the next 4 years. Eventually, there is going to be a shift where we don't necessarily have the wind at our backs the way that we do. But we absolutely do want to make sure that Bitcoin does become somewhat of a third rail in the space. Like, third rail, you don't touch it, you don't mess with it. You touch it and it'll shock you and you'll die. That's kind of like the third rail on rail for those that don't take public transit.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
in politics, that essentially means like there's a political issue that you just don't mess with it, right? Like
yeah,
if you touch it, you're going to be in trouble.
yeah. We basically want it right near like Social Security, where where if you look at it wrong, everyone freaks out.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly the way to, type of way to compare these types of things. So there's the possibility that that happens, but we aren't there yet. We got to keep working, got to keep fighting. We got to keep making sure that these groups that are being active and being successful continue to be successful. There's a lot of different groups out there that have had a lot of success in the last 6 to 12 months, and we want to make sure that they can continue to progress. And that's going to take them all working hard to ensure that they make progress for Bitcoin and digital assets at the state and at the federal level. And it also is important that when we're looking at how to influence this political system as a community, that we don't take for granted that supporting these groups financially or supporting lawmakers financially, that makes a huge difference and ensures that they're going to be paying a lot more attention to us as a group and not taking us for granted.
Yeah, yeah. That is actually why I've launched all of our clubs. Is is I am in it for the revolution more than the profit. It's we need to get the US, we need the Federal Reserve to go away and just leave us alone. And I see it as, or how I've approached it is, all right, I'll let Washington actually be Washington, and I'm just gonna launch clubs and help the average Joes and average, Janes learn about this tech. And what's really going on, so that as this grows, it isn't just the wealthy people, and nothing against Michael Saylor. I love you, Mike. You know that. Uh, it's just, you know, he ain't swinging a hammer every day on a job site, worried about his wife and kids and rent and all that. Uh, what I am solely looking at, and solely, this is my goal, is actually get as many average Americans involved in the Bitcoin as possible. So as this grows, they reap the rewards of it. And because the only way we save our country is if we save our, shall we call them middle class, I guess that's what we're usually labeled as. And because as they gain wealth, they have more influence in their local area. And I, I trust a plumber more than I trust a fucking politician. So it's that's my view. That is my goal. That's why I've rolled so much into all of this, because uh, I I see it as, yeah, I could just retire and live on a beach in El Salvador, which in the future may happen. But right now, um, I don't want to be the richest person in prison. And that's how I
Ye-
view it if we don't change it.
Yeah, well, that's exactly sort of the same mental model for why I decided to launch Satoshi Action. We were in a situation where the ownership of Bitcoin was in the pathway of, or I should say, in the sights of those who wanted to essentially criminalize the ownership of digital assets directly. And there were multiple efforts made to do so. And I was realizing, I've got a couple options if I don't do anything. And the way where we are today, we continue down that path. We're going to end up in a situation where I either have to go underground and hide, sell my Bitcoin, or flee the country. And none of those are really good options. And so I decided to get up and fight and to push for Bitcoin to ensure that the United States is the best place in the world to be a Bitcoiner, to be a Bitcoin holder. And we feel that we've certainly been successful in that mission. And now the United States certainly is one of the best places in the world to be a Bitcoiner and to be a Bitcoin holder. We certainly played a part in that process. We've
Yes.
already protected the rights of 20 million Americans to be able to hold Bitcoin digital assets through the passage of six, keystone pieces of legislation at the state level. And we're doing it also in a bipartisan manner because at the end of the day, the thing that's most dangerous about where we are right now is that if we continue to just assume that, Republicans and Trump are the ones that are going to save us, that means that every 4 years or maybe every 8 years, if the Republicans are lucky, there will be a Democrat in office that wants to crush Bitcoin and digital assets, and that's just not really a appropriate way for us to function as a country. And that's why for us, we need to be making sure that we're engaging both sides of the aisle effectively and communicating with them in a way that they understand. One of Bitcoin's biggest problems is that we have been uh, we started off with very libertarian roots. Also, I would say good and bad thing, right? Started off with very libertarian roots. That ultimately led to a lot of libertarians working with Republicans because a lot of libertarians, especially after Rand Paul ran and lost his presidential election, they decided to become a part of the Republican Party because they more or less concluded that they could not win national elections on their own. So they injected a lot of their ideas and their thoughts into the Republican Party. And that has really shaped the way the Republican Party is today. It's a vastly different Republican Party because of a lot of these libertarians going over to the other side, going over to the Republican Party and joining forces with them. But one of the other things that it did is they brought Bitcoin with them in quite a significant manner. And when those libertarians were communicating with the Republicans on why they should like Bitcoin, it was very easy. It was very easy to make that communication. Small government. We can take power away from the federal government. Sound money. These are all things that a lot. Freedom, right? Freedom is big, right? These are all things that Republicans like. These are all messaging talking points that Republicans already sort of align with. But we haven't had really anybody do it with Democrats yet in a way where they truly understand the value, the deep, deep value of Bitcoin that actually does align quite magically with their perspective of the world. And that being that, Democrats, progressives, liberals, everybody on the left really cares about the ability for Bitcoin to do the thing that you're talking about, which is to help the average person, to help the savers, to help the disenfranchised, to help the folks that have been kept out, to help people that are traditionally discriminated against. It is
I,
a very powerful tool for those groups of people which have been marginalized. And um, Bitcoin mining also is a very powerful tool for renewable energy and for mitigating methane emissions. And it's just like no one's really like going out there and talking to them. And I know that because when I talk to Democrats, they are surprised to hear these things. And so we've been making sure to continue to engage Democrats because I don't want to live in a world where every 4 years, we end up in a situation where Bitcoin is being destroyed by the party in power.
oh, I completely agree with you. I think the average, uh, not really progressives. I think that progressives are separate from your average Joe union worker Democrat. Uh, because a progressive, if they refer to themselves as a progressive, they they don't value freedom as we do. They value systems. And so they see us, and especially the Bitcoin, as as a threat. And so I don't worry about ever really I I really don't care if the progressives ever join us because I know they won't, because their system, their global progressive system is actually it, it's it's what we're against. It's the IMF, it's the World Bank, it's uh, what do you call it, BIS. It's all of those systems that have actually put us where we are now. And a progressive is anti individual sovereignty and individual currency. That's just how they are, because they're they're progressives are just communists with a little bit better PR. That's
I mean,
what a progressive is.
ultimately, at the end of the day, Bitcoin is a system, though, right? And it's a system of rules and regulations. It's very
Yes,
tightly
except
regulated, in
it's
fact.
actually decentralized.
Yeah, I mean, the way I'd like to frame it, because I do have conversations with a lot of Democrats and progressives, and I'm able to thread the needle with them. And at the end of the day, Bitcoin is one of the most tightly regulated monetary units in the world. I mean, think about the block size wars. Think about the fight over that. We fought very aggressively over the ability to regulate the size of the blocks. And the Bitcoin maxis were on the side of regulation. They wanted to keep that block size as tightly regulated as possible because they realized that it would impact decentralization. So Bitcoin is full of regulations, it's full of rules, it's full of systems. And so, because of this, and because of the ability for Bitcoin to solve some of the problems that traditionally progressives and Democrats have wanted to solve through government, there's now a tool that they have that they can use to solve some of the world's problems without needing to use the long arm of the government, which I think is a much better way. And I think that if someone can get out there and communicate that with them, that they hear it and they understand it. Like I was just in Portland, Oregon, or excuse me, I was in Salem, Oregon, testifying in favor of Bitcoin and meeting with lawmakers. And I mean, you'd be surprised, Ben. I mean, it's really kind of shocking. You'd think, that they wouldn't get it, but they do if you can explain it in a way that they can understand. But the problem is, it's a good problem and a bad problem to have, right? Like we've had so much uptake by Republicans and by conservatives and by libertarians that when you talk about Bitcoin the way that it makes sense to you, it doesn't make sense to them that way, right? Like, and Bitcoin has this weird magical way of like reflecting back at you, like whatever your worldview is.
Yeah.
And so if you have this worldview that like you want to help people, and you're saying you disagree with the way that they've done it in the past, which is, you know, using the long arm of the government, using the IMF, using these systems that you think are broken. I think Bitcoin offers them a way off of that type of approach and into an environment where they can help solve some of the world's problems without having to use those systems which aren't working anymore.
Well, God, I love you to death. You have such an optimistic view of them, and I unfortunately don't, because I they value the system. It's all they really care about, and that when you now remember, I'm talking about the progressives, not the average everyday union Tim Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
The leadership, their lifeblood, because let's be honest, if they didn't have the system, what would they run on? They wouldn't run on. They'd have to basically be a Republican light, because what they run on is social engineering. The government will fix it. Civil rights this, civil rights that. The government will provide this. The government will provide that. Well, if you implement an honest currency or an honest blockchain cryptocurrency like the Bitcoin, that screws them up, because their system is all about getting involved in the economy and tweaking the interest rate. That's what I find hilarious is you see all of these people who are like, oh, the markets are manipulated by this person or that person or blah blah. And really, my argument is our system is actually based on market manipulation of the price of money, which is an interest rate. And we leave it up to an elite group of people who say, you know what, we'll drop it by, I don't know, maybe 0.5%, maybe 25 basis points. That'll fix the economy. And so as and I've had conversations with people in the Trump team and helping implement a lot of this, they're all in. They're like, they want to get rid of the Federal Reserve, and they want to roll the power of the Federal Reserve into the Treasury where it belongs, and basically not relaunch a new dollar, but transition the dollar away from a global legislated reserve or the number one global reserve currency into a free will usage global reserve currency, where it isn't legislated that you have to use it. It's you use it because the government is or uh, isn't printing it out of nowhere and have nothing back it. And from the friends I've actually talked to, they're basically going to move the authority away from the Federal Reserve into the Treasury, partner with uh, uh, stable coin issuers, and basically uh, they're going to tokenize the dollar, just not directly out of the Treasury.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity for stablecoin issuers. There's this huge amount of demand all over the world, and one of the things that uh, I learned as I traveled the world, and actually I've lived abroad previously. I lived in Mexico for over 3 years, and one of the things you learn really fast is that there's a huge amount of demand for the dollar. People want the dollar all over the world, and they
Hello?
want to be able to. Can you hear me? Okay. I think we might have lost you, but I can hear you. Okay. So,
Unfortunately, I can't hear you.
oh, okay. Maybe cut out.
Hmm.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Let me go over the audio. Yeah, it's
It
uh
sounds like I'm when
apparently
I
it's
watch a live
over
stream.
on your side.
I can.
Okay, they say they can hear each of us, but unfortunately, I, for some reason, can't hear you. Crappy software. All right, hang on one second. I am going to exit out and then exit right, or come right back in.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Oh, gotcha.
There we go. Well, I got a final comment, and then I do got to kind of jump here, but I wanted to just respond to what you said about the stablecoin issuers. I mean, one of the things that I learned traveling all over the world recently, and also having lived in Mexico for 3 years when I was a little younger, there is this huge amount of demand for the dollar, and it's everywhere. When I was in the Republic of Georgia, for instance, we actually sat down with the central bankers there, and they said they cannot figure out how to get people to use the local currency when it comes to doing loans. Like everybody wants to loan and do lending in the dollar. And so we have this opportunity now with stablecoins to even kind of continue to proliferate dollar usage as a country by enabling more and more people to have access to it from their cell phones. And this is something that is going to radically reshape finance in the world, and it's going to radically reshape our position as a country in the world because the demand for the dollar today is high, but the supply is limited compared to where we are right now. And we can seriously change the way that people have access to the dollar with stable coins. And then I believe in that kind of world, it's actually a better world for Bitcoin too, because the more people that are on crypto wallets using stable coins, the more access and the closer they'll be to Bitcoin because they'll be seeing Bitcoin on their wallet. There'll probably be an exchange that's taking place with the dollar to local currencies, and Bitcoin will commonly be there right alongside those other currencies. And people are going to realize over time that Bitcoin is growing in value all the time. And because they have a stable currency like the dollar to operate off of, it's a much more stable platform. They'll be able to leverage that into the Bitcoin network and save for the long haul, ultimately improving their economic situation. And economic situations for people all over the world could dramatically improve over the next 5 to 10 years in a way that we can only just begin to imagine.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, and I'll wrap this up right now. I think we are going into a system that resembles pre Federal Reserve, say like I'd say like 1900, maybe 1880, where we had a bunch of private banks that issued currency, except this time the private banks will actually be global exchanges, and other places like Tether that will actually buy the treasury bonds and replace the Federal Reserve with private entity treasury bond purchases and then issue coins off of those bonds.
Yeah, it's a very interesting world we're headed into, and I'm very excited about being able to participate and see what happens next. And thank you again, dude, for having me on the show. Always good to see you. I'm very excited about Vegas and also what you're going to be doing in DC.
Yep. All right, brother. You have a great day, and I'll see you in Vegas.
See you soon. See you, everyone.
All right, bye-bye. All right, guys. That's our Friday show. Love him. He is moving and grooving. He is rocking and rolling. All right, guys, everyone have a great day. Watch for a live show around 3 o'clock this afternoon, 3 o'clock Central Time. It's going to be me, Ken Bozak, and for those OGs, Omar Bam, and maybe Ivan on tech. I'm still waiting to hear back from him. So I'm going to try and actually do a surprise live show this afternoon on all of our platforms with me, Ken Bozak, Omar Bam, and maybe Ivan on tech if he wakes up in time. So everyone, have a great day, and I will see you at 3. Love you guys. Bye-bye. That's 3 o'clock Central Time. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Ever wondered how safe your online activities really are? How secure is your digital footprint? In the vast realm of the internet, privacy and security are paramount. Without adequate protection, your personal data might be at risk. There are solutions to these issues, and today we're going to talk about 2 of them. Introducing Liberty Laptops from Calyx Solutions. These cutting-edge devices are meticulously designed to bolster online privacy, providing you the liberty to surf the internet incognito. The World Wide Web can be a wild frontier, but with Liberty Laptops, your online privacy is always protected. We also present you Crypto Laptops, designed with cryptocurrency users in mind. Equipped to support a myriad of wallets and exchanges, these laptops are tailored for seamless cryptocurrency transactions. They offer enhanced security protocols to keep your digital assets safe. Crypto Laptops ensures a secure and smooth cryptocurrency experience. It's time to take control of your online privacy and security. Venture over to Calyx Solutions and explore our Liberty Laptops and Crypto Laptops. Don't forget, our affiliate program lets you earn $50 per sale. Visit calyxsolutions.io now or call 702-845-8276 for more information, because your online safety is our priority.